Two men with thought-provoking intellect, a rousing discussion with a hint of humor. He says this, I say that, with a host that...
Bruh, it's a podcast.
Hi, I would like to welcome you all to our latest episode of Bruh, It's a Podcast. I'm your host, Courtney. I got our two anchors, Q&E, with us today. How are y'all doing?
Yo, what up? Yeah, I'm feeling good. We got the audio fixed. Last week we tried some new microphones. That was a dub. So it's good to bring back Reliable.
Yep. Good to be here. Anchors? All right. Every week you come with a new one. I'm just going to let this one go. Doing good, man. Doing good. What's up with you?
No, I'm glad to hear it. Well, anchors, I'm trying to find different words that I feel that fit you guys. And anchor is like, on like a news channel, those guys that give us the weather and the most important news of the day. That's what you guys are now.
Oh,
like
we're metal that holds you back and keeps you from moving forward.
That's what she said to you, Q. But what we are, I prefer being an anchor for the news. Keep going, Courtney. Keep going.
That was good. He thought of that one really quick. I like that. I want to start with a word, and I just want you guys to tell me what's the first thing that comes to your mind when I tell you this word, all right? The word is entanglement.
Complete foolishness.
Why?
I guess you guys both already know what I mean, so I'm going to explain to the audience what's going on. This was something that I wasn't even going to approach until... obviously the mystery platform, and it's become less of a rumor. Now it's actually fact. Will Smith, one of the most famous actors, just people in the world, and his wife, Jada, there was this whole, situation that happened with her and August Alsina, and it was a whole situation. And honestly, I don't even really want to get into that. And, we'll see what comes up when we talk. But I want to get into the word entanglement because she described this situation when they were married, and it sounds like they may have been separated, but within their marriage, a relationship didn't happen, an entanglement happened. It didn't go to that level. And I wanted to get your thoughts on, is that something that is just happening in the world now, fellas, that when you're married, you can have entanglements and it's not really something for you to be upset at? Or should they have dived a little deeper? Because it seems like it was very, very surface.
It definitely was very, very surface, but I just want to get a little deeper into your question. I believe you said, when you're married, is it okay to have entanglements? Are you saying if you are married, is it okay for you to sleep with other people?
Well, we got to talk about this as adults because they were married, yes, but they made it clear that it looked like they were heading for divorce and they were no longer together, which is why it seems Will Smith was okay with it. And I'm putting that in quotes, audience, but that's just what was presented to us.
Well, to each their own. I understand that you might be headed towards a divorce, but you didn't get a divorce. I think there's a difference in fighting or headed someplace and actually reaching that destination. So it is what it is. But whatever worked for them is that. But this whole idea that it's an entanglement, call it what it was. Y'all had a relationship. It's like when somebody's talking to somebody, it's like you're talking to them forever. They never give them the label. You never call them your girlfriend or you never call them your boyfriend. Just somebody I'm talking to. So that's what's making the word famous now. I never was in a relationship with you. We just had an entanglement.
That's what it's called because it's her. If it was him, then he would have been the monster of Bel-Air. And right now they would be burning his movies in the streets. We all know what this is. At the time, this guy was 22 years old. You call it what it was. We know what happened here. But she is one of those people, and we've experienced these people throughout our lives that never come out of their 20s, no matter how old they end up being. They still live like they're in their 20s. And that's what she does. And that's why, shout out to Grant Hill, when Grant Hill was dating her and he brought her home to his parents said, if you're trying to stay in the will, bruh, cut that loose. And he got up out of there because she's a trouble person.
Well, I didn't even know that she dated Grant Hill.
Oh, yeah.
She has a list of celebrities, right? I think it was Tupac, obviously as well. Now it's Grant Hill. Man, she might be a Black Kardashian. But what I'm going to say is that I think we need to develop into the story a little bit more. Apparently, this is their son's friend who was sick or ill, maybe mentally and some other things, and they brought him home to take care of him. That's the synopsis of the story. They brought him home to take care of him or to help him heal, and this is what happens. her and Will go on a hiatus or headed to break up, and her and him enter into an entanglement. Now, had Will messed around with his daughter's friend, who he's 21 years older than at the time, because he was trying to help the daughter out, that sounds pretty suspect.
Messing with your child's friend and then getting a cute term out of it that everyone's using, it's unbelievable. This is the world we live in now. As long as we don't do it, it's okay. We're going to give Jada a pass. Oh, they were separated. You know they weren't separated. You know they weren't. But they had to get out and get in front of it and say something because the world is watching them. So listen, that little weird guy with the music that none of us has heard of, with the silly tattoo on his neck that comes up over all of his button-up shirts, because you messed with him, we're going to have to get ahead of this and say something. So he looked like a complete idiot. He looked like he had been crying. Honestly.
To my Will?
Yes. He looked ridiculous. The whole thing was ridiculous. It was a sideshow, and it was unnecessary. We know y'all crazy. We know she crazy. Just be crazy. Don't get in front of us, sit in front of a table and say, hey, bad marriage for life. Stop. No one's buying that.
I do want to give him credit, though. Will's a better man than me.
I was literally about to talk about that.
I got to give him credit. I don't know whether they have an open relationship or whether they had or they don't, whether she cheated or they were on the way out and he really at that particular time didn't care. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't have been at that table. Red, yellow, green, black, white. I would have been at that table.
Absolutely not. That's a good point, E. If some millennial was boning my wife,
Here we go. Here we go.
I would hang him by his cuff jeans. So yes, Will Smith is better than me. That's unacceptable.
It always goes back to the millennials with you, man.
Sorry, man. Dude was like 22. What do you call him?
Generation Z. Again.
And that's what's crazy, man. Like, she must have really just been in a place, because 22-year-old guy don't even know how to use his meat yet. It's just, he just got it. He don't know what he's doing with it yet.
Oh, my goodness.
It baffles me. The whole situation baffles me.
Well, first and foremost, I'm not mad at him because he's 22. He's 22. He's an up-and-coming star.
Had you ever heard of him, E?
My point exactly. My point exactly. Are you not listening to where I'm going? He's 22, and he got Jada Pinkett Smith hollering at him. What would you have done, Mr. 22-year-old?
Man, I would never mess with somebody's wife. I got common sense.
You at 22?
At 22, yes. I would never mess with somebody else's wife. At 22. Listen, at 22, I might have stole juice out the store. I might have did a whole bunch of other stuff, but I'm not breaking a commandment. Jeez.
Well, shout out to Q for being a man of God.
But yeah, now I'm gonna have to tie this up by agreeing. Like, it wouldn't have mattered what table, what color, what size. I don't care who's sitting at it. I don't care what the chairs feel like. That you about to have a whole affair, entanglement, and twistment. I don't care. And then you gonna have me on TV like here, like not.
Think about the flip side. 22-year-old guy. He thinks he just hit the precipice. He has Jada Pinkett, and hardly anybody know who he is. He's probably selling his music out his car.
That's what I'm telling you. There's no way he was going to turn that down. There's no way.
Then after that, she gets what she wants. She cuts him off. Don't talk to me no more. Thanks. Thanks for putting your mouth here. Now get out. Don't say nothing else to him. He's young. He's stupid. He's hurt because he thought it was real. Of course he's going to go on somebody's show and say, well, I was messing with Jada Pinkett and Will Smith said it was okay.
4 years later. Yeah, he waited till he knew his career wasn't going to get resurrected. And then boom, drop a bomb on him.
Exactly.
And then now they validated it by having them. And I mean, they didn't even really have a real transparent conversation. But like I said, shout out to Will, man, because I would have just been like, yeah, no, this is your problem. You fixing that yourself.
Exactly.
She would have been at the red table by herself, her and her mama.
If I had 230 Spotify downloads in 4 years, I would tell everybody I messed with Jada Pinkett too.
That's not a real number.
Shout out to the Birds of Podcast fans. We got more than that.
Oh, man. Speaking of tables, something that we use it for is to eat. And there's been a bubbling situation, and I've used that word on purpose. So I give myself credit on that one.
Bruh.
The NBA and WNBA bubble, they've been complaining about their food situation. They've been complaining about their living situation. I guess it's not as high class as they're used to. So the WNBA players and the NBA players have been complaining, talking about like the food's bad, sending pictures about it. The living conditions aren't up to par. And honestly, the NBA players are complaining, but like the WNBA players, like that stuff looked really bad. Like it looked really, really crazy. So I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Like, should they not be complaining? Are they not being sensitive compared to what other Americans are going through in like America or the world? Or do they have a right?
I'm going to go opposite of Q because I already know where he's going to go. I already know where he's going to go. That being said, they have a right to complain. Why do they have a right to complain? Because they are the best at what they do and they're getting paid to do what they do. There are some people, for example, who might work in nursing homes, and obviously we know nursing homes were hit hard by the COVID situation. What happens is a nursing home will have their employees stay on site. They'll give them a room. They'll provide them with food. They'll provide them with all these things to stay on site. So they're technically having their own bubble so they can stay and take care of the facility. That is what's happening to those players. But don't tell me you're going to give me a bubble and you want me to perform and make both of us money, because I'm going to make my money and you're going to make yours as an institution, and then give me PB&J. That's not what I'm used to, because what we usually do is we go to the Four Seasons and we get our meals done and so forth, yada, yada. Yes, obviously things are going to change and you shouldn't expect the same treatment, but it shouldn't be a drastic drop. I shouldn't go from filet mignon to hamburger helper. I mean, come on. That's a big drop.
Oh my God, I make millions of dollars and all of a sudden I'm eating Caesar salad in a bubble. Oh my goodness, I have the richest contract in the NBA and all of a sudden I have a cold slice of pizza to eat. Oh my God, my bed sheet is not 1,500 thread count, it's hotel count. Oh my God, why are you doing this to me? I'm James Harden, I make millions of dollars. Why on the world am I sitting here eating out of styrofoam? Oh my God, where do I get my weed from? I'm trapped in a bubble. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Of course things are different. Everybody's being different. We're in the COVID-19. You ate at the Four Seasons. Guess what? The Four Seasons is closed. Everything is closed. You're in a place where everybody in the free country basically has COVID-19. Shut up and play some basketball. Are you kidding me? Complaining? They make millions of dollars and they're complaining about food and conditions. Are you being spared the COVID and still making your NBA salary? Then you be quiet. That's all I have to say on that one.
It's funny because I was going to begin and I was going to agree with you, E. And I started seeing some of the pictures of the food that they were complaining about, and I was like, "Yo, this is pretty good.
Bro.
Like, I would eat this. like I would spend $10.99. Like, that's a meal I could have. Like the salad. Like, it wasn't salad, amazing. Yo, the salad had like various vegetables. Like the bread was soft. It looked moist. I was like, yo.
Hold on, stop. First and foremost, how do you say the salad has various vegetables? What are you eating? Number two, how can you tell the bread was soft through a photo? Courtney, I'm scared for you. Third,
that's why you know it was good.
Third, Q, not everyone in the free country has corona. Only you do.
Everybody in Florida does.
That's not true.
No, so stop it.
Everybody in Florida got COVID.
No,
right?
but I like I told you, I know where Q was going. He was going to rip what you would. Oh, by the way, your boy James Harden probably does have COVID. I might be dropping a HIPAA violation. I'm gonna stop that.
No, I mean James Harden is the king of strip clubs. He may not have COVID, but he definitely has pink eye.
What?
Well, hopefully he washes his hands, but that's a story for another day. They do have a reason to complain. It's not as drastic as they make it sound. But a couple of years ago, do you guys remember when Randy Moss complained? A couple of years ago, Randy Moss, I believe he was at the Vikings for his second turnaround, and he yelled at the caterers, and he like screamed, "I wouldn't feed my dogs this food." And apparently that food was exquisite too. So it's just the athlete, man. The athlete, they make millions of dollars, they're used to a particular lifestyle, and that's that. But you are correct. There should be an adjustment. But like I said, I can't go from filet mignon to Spam. It's a drastic drop.
I do want to say the WNBA players, though, they had it right. Yeah, yes. I saw some of those things, and it looked like they were prisoners of war with some of the foods like they were being fed. It looked crazy.
It did.
And then like their hotel rooms look like the places you would go to like hide drugs, like not go in to sell them because it doesn't look nice enough for the people you're selling it to, like just to hide the drugs in it because it looks crazy.
Yep. Were they like Oyo hotels?
Like what kind?
Oyo, OYO.
I don't even know
I
what
don't
that
know
is.
what that is.
Yeah, because I went to an Oyo hotel and it was trash and I left.
What is that?
Google it. Homework.
Well, we're not gonna get sponsorships from them.
I wouldn't let them sponsor us. I wouldn't.
It was that bad. But the
would.
thing is, I guarantee you that place looked better than where the WNBA players were going. Like I saw what the men were complaining about, and I was like, okay. And then when I saw what the WNBA players were complaining about, I almost donated money. I was like, yo, how can I help y'all? Because like this looks wild. So nah, there's a certain level, and this is probably a deeper conversation that we need to have. But the way that the women are kind of getting treated in this bubble, and the way that the men were getting treated, obviously, you know, there's varying scales, but nah, that's completely unacceptable.
Are they in the same bubble?
No, they're not in the same bubble.
Okay, that explains a lot now.
You're probably right. Getting to the next topic, it's a problem that a woman was having, and she didn't send this question to us. It's actually something that came from the mystery platform. But it's a woman who was considering ending her relationship over her boyfriend's ludicrous request. And I guess we can talk about the definition of ride or die, but maybe you should hear what the guy did first. So the guy had a business idea. You know how that goes. You're excited. You're ready to tell, you know, your girl or your family about this, you know, idea you had. And his idea was he was going to create a soup tube. And what the soup tube does is it takes soup from a centralized location, and there's tubes that come out and go to people's houses, and I guess you press a button and it sucks the soup through the tube and it goes into the different person's house, and then you get soup delivered to you that way. Now, now I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you about the validity of that idea, because that's obviously a bad idea and very unsanitary. But what the woman was saying was like the guy wouldn't stop. Like he began to invest lots of money to get this idea made. Like everybody was like, it's a bad idea. He's like, no, you just don't know. Like I'm gonna change the world. She was just reaching out like, I need help. Like I don't know if I should leave him. Like, is he losing his mind? Is he insane? Is it because of COVID? So I thought this was an interesting discussion to bring to you guys about how far should you go for your significant other.
Oh, you don't want to talk about the soup tube? You want to talk about just like relationships?
No. We can talk about the soup tube. It's wherever you guys want to go because we're versatile.
All right, because in regards to what kind of soup was he trying to sell, though?
I read through the information. I do not think the type of soup was included in the documents that I received.
All right, my fault. I feel for my dude because you hear a lot of stories about how somebody became a millionaire because nobody believed in their particular idea, right?
True.
You hear that all the time. And then they fought against resistance, they fought against the tide, and then boom, now they're millionaires. So I feel for him. That being said, I might not be one to purchase this said idea. One, like I said, I don't know what kind of soup it is. Like I need to know what kind of soup it is, number one. Number two, you're right. Sanitary does probably hit a source button for me. So that's one.
Probably.
On top of that, yeah, it's just a weird idea. It's just a weird idea. But in regards to relationships, yo, what happened with standing by your man? I mean, stand by your man. Sickness and in health. Smartness and in dumb. I mean, there's a lot of things that you should stand by your man for. That being said, yeah, I'm with her. She got to bounce, bro. If he's really into this, man, she got to bounce.
It's not the best idea to have a soup machine that sends soup into people's houses so they can get soup delivered. It's not the best idea. But here's the thing. You do have to stand by your mate when they present dumb ideas. You don't necessarily have to be a part of it.
Hold on. Before you continue, Q, hit Q with the romantic music.
Do not.
Go ahead, you start over. Go ahead. Hit with the music. Go ahead.
Wait. I have a special one that I'm going to do one day with that.
Ooh, okay.
Hijack my segment? Wow.
What, I've been saving it because I'm only going to do it once because that's your segment.
All right, fine. You may be stopping on purpose for the rule. All right, go ahead.
So having soup delivered and having a soup machine that's running into people's houses with a tube so that people can have soup delivered is not the best idea. That being said, you have to stand by your mate no matter how stupid their idea is. Because once you are not in their corner, then things will happen that will cause you to have to keep secrets because your mate isn't in your corner. A good example of this, ex-wife, she wanted to do this money pyramid. It was $2,000. She said, listen, I'm going to do $2,000. You do 2,000. I said, I'm gonna stop you right there. You go ahead, you do that 2,000, and I'm gonna cheer for you when you get that 32,000. And when she left the house, I said, that jackass isn't getting that 32,000. But I didn't say it to her. I supported it. And what happened? She never got that money. She lost her $2,000, but I supported loudly while I cursed her name to myself. And that's what you have to do with your mate. Support them loudly in their endeavors, and then to yourself say, that doesn't make any sense at all.
How does she support? Does she just say, go ahead, babe, do it? Or does she like create a recipe for soup? Does she like say Mondays is chicken noodle, Tuesdays is
You're
broccoli
laughing, but
cheddar,
like
Wednesdays is beef stew,
she said, I'm not even in a
Thursdays
romantic
Korean
relationship
mushroom,
anymore. She said, I'm in an
Friday is
extended
wedding.
infomercial. All right. She said, I feel like I'm dating Homer Simpson. Like her life is in shambles right now. Like she really
Wow.
needs some real. And the thing is, you're right, E. I would have told her, I would have listened to the story. I would have been like, cool, 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 cool. Are you done? Leave immediately. Like there wouldn't have been any, like there would have been no need for a conversation. Like you gotta go. Like once you've decided you're gonna, and E, I don't care what soup it is, okay?
I got more soup.
And you know, as you're saying it, yo, lobster bisque, honestly, if somebody could shoot some lobster bisque in a tube, like, okay.
You can't
But
have
no,
seafood sitting in a tube. What are we
It's gonna be-
saying right
it's
now?
coming straight from the source. What's the problem? It
The
only
tube
happens
is
on Thursdays.
immediately not usable. You would have to replace the tube every time you got soup.
Nah, the
yo,
problem, you
stop
get
trying to
soup,
add reason to
get
it, Q. This
soup.
is ridiculous.
Okay, fine. Sundays is just hot water to clean it.
Yeah.
So,
No, because you know that there's one person who's not even one. There's going to be somebody who's waiting for the soup to come, and they're going to spit in the soup and just
Yes.
return it, and then it's going to go right back into the tube, and then
that's
everybody's
not how
infected.
plumbing works. Why act like I'm from the 1400s? That's not how plumbing works. It's just you turn on, it comes out. You know what? The only problem I have is if this guy lives in Hawaii. That's my only problem. If he
Why?
lives like in Ohio, when it gets cold all the time, I'm with his idea completely. You know what? Let's find this guy. I want to invest. I got $2,000.
Hey, Q.
Yo.
You're gonna invest $2,000 with E?
No, if this is goldfish tank, because we're not sharks, I'm not gonna be putting that money up, bro.
Hey, go ahead. Let me know how that goes, E. We'll find out his information. If
I
you're
get-
listening to the podcast,
When I get my 32 G's, y'all gonna be real salty and cold because I will be toasty.
I want to timestamp this. So in about 3 episodes, audience, when E comes back and his demeanor is really, really glum, he doesn't have a lot of high energy, his jokes aren't hitting the same, just know that his investment notes came back and we know exactly what happened.
Monday is gonna be tomato soup. You get your grilled cheese ready, people.
Oh my gosh. You can't clean chicken out of tube. You would have to get a new tube.
My goodness. First and foremost, you get canned soup all the time. It's the
Not
same
in a
thing.
tube. The chicken's gonna be in the tube.
Oh my goodness.
You gotta clean it.
Semantics.
That's not semantics.
Salmonella is not semantics, bro.
It's cooked soup.
Y'all lucky that I can't say that word because you're right. If you could get salmonella or however you say that word, like that's not going through I don't want that. I want to have a discussion. We haven't really spoken on this yet, which is very surprising, but there's, been this whole Karen phenomenon, and apparently they're starting to put into law that if you call the cops on or 911 on someone for like a ridiculous situation, that they're going to make that illegal, where you could get either, potential jail, but like, heavy fines. So I wanted to get or have a discussion about the Karen phenomenon, but like, do you think that that's going to be effective, and just thoughts on that story altogether?
Depends on what town you're in. If you are in Bloomfield, New Jersey, and Karen calls the cops on you and this law is in effect, she'll be ticketed and or arrested. If you're in Bumville, Alabama, and Karen calls the cops on you, you are still going to get arrested, because harassing brothers and getting them arrested is just like real estate. Location, location, location. And if you are in the wrong place, you are still going to be guilty no matter what. So it's cool that they put that into place, but depending on where you are, that's not going to change anything. There are plenty of laws that are in place that doesn't help us in any way every day. It's not legal to shoot an unarmed person, but it happens to us all the time. So for me, it's cool that they did it, but I don't see it making that much of a difference.
Well, I do know that there is a Bloomfield, New Jersey. I'm not sure there's a Bumville, Alabama. but somebody can
We
Google that
also
for
have
me.
to stay away from Alabama. Like, can we relax?
Somebody can Google that for me and let me know if that's a real place or if that's Q's mystery getaway. That being said, it is a good law in theory in regards to how protect innocent people from being falsely accused or even threatened. And that can potentially save a life, right? Because I'm sure people have been hurt or for the wrong reasons and so forth. Realistically speaking, I'm wondering, how can you actually implement this law? How can you actually implement this? How can you tell somebody that they are lying when they say, oh, I was feared for my life. Oh, I was scared. How can you prove that somebody wasn't scared? That being said, that's why I think this is a good theory, but practically, I don't think it can be proven. At the end of the day, I being the black man, I'm still wasting my time explaining to the officer that this person is lying on me, right? I'm still, whether I'm detained for 30 seconds or whether I'm asked to speak to the officer, whatever I was going to do is now put on pause because I have to explain myself that she's lying and so forth and yada, yada, yada. So at the end of the day, I'm still a victim. You're right. Granted, it could be worse. I could be getting shot, right? Which is a real thing. Or I could be arrested falsely and so forth. So it's still better than the alternative, but it's not necessarily fixing the situation. And I can see somebody arguing a $500 ticket. How can you tell me that I wasn't scared? Are you me? You know what I'm saying? So it's good in theory, but practically, I don't see that.
I mean, I think from what they're saying, it's going to be something where, making racially biased calls, they're going to try to make that illegal, and you're right. Who knows what the effect of this will be? I mean, I do think that because of how the world is right now, there's a lot of change that's taking place. And just for this to even be considered, I think that's a positive step. Like, it is kind of crazy that this is actually something that we actually have to like discuss and like talk about as like a real scenario. But at least the world is listening. And I think that's a win, right? Like, there's not many wins that we have, but this is, to me, I guess, considered a step. And yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. But hey, the next time I'm walking somewhere and I'm doing something real regular and I see somebody pull out a phone, I'm like, hey, change is coming, But
so let me get this straight.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to be walking and you're going to see a Karen look at you
Yeah.
feeling threatened and point at you
Yeah.
and pull out her phone. You're going to point at her and say,
Yes.
ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
The world is changing.
Yeah.
Q, I'm gonna take my $2,000 from the soup industry and save it for Courtney's bail money.
That sounds like a good investment. I'm gonna let you know how that goes because I don't want to be too aggressive with my
Man,
but like
I was really feeling that soup, man. Now I gotta save Courtney, man.
Wow. That's a shame, man.
Wow.
We'd like to thank everybody for coming in. This was an awesome episode. We want to tell you guys, please subscribe, write us a review. If you haven't checked out our visual highlight series on Instagram, please check out our Auto Bruh-ography clips at Bruh It's a Podcast. Leave us a question on anchor.fm/BIAP. We'll be back next week.
You know it. All right. Stop talking, man. Stop talking. Hit him with the outro.
Bruh, 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 bruh. It's a podcast.